Good morning and welcome back to the S Plus Morning Show. Tony, they are doing it to us again. They're showing us these beautiful, enticing pictures of Sheepshead Bay to make you think of springtime and to put a big smile on your face.
We've been showing those pictures all morning, in case you haven't been with us, and it has inspired me to begin work on a screenplay, Spring in Sheepshead Bay, a new independent film coming out of the Morning Show Productions.
Isn't that a good idea?
I like that idea. Musical.
Yes.
We discussed your musical prowess yesterday.
He's going to be
So I
singing
think this is a way to work on the
Porcini
mushroom aria. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
The Porcini aria.
The Porcini aria. That's right. That's right. Well, then keep your eyes peeled. We'll let you know when this is going to hit a movie theater near you. The box office broke an all-time record last year. Over 1 billion movie tickets were sold, resulting in a box office revenue of almost $6 billion. And while audiences continue to flock to big-budget action films like Independence Day, they are increasingly showing up at smaller, low-budget films.
Welcome to Earth.
While 1996 was a record-breaking box office year, the grosses of major studio movies rose only 5%, while independent films grew more than 37% here in the United States. In fact, 4 out of this year's 5 Best Picture nominees went to independent films. According to Ruth Vitale, president of Fine Line Features, independent films are something the public is thirsty for.
That doesn't mean that the Independence Days and the Lethal Weapons and the Die Hards of the world won't do well, because there's always going to be a market for that. But then the consumer is going to say, hey, okay, we've had our popcorn movie, we've had our roller coaster ride, let's have something else.
Fine Line's most recent success is Shine, which cost just $6 million to produce. A week after the film won 7 Oscar nominations, its box office grosses jumped 40% and has since made over $20 million.
I'm your father.
And Shine won't be the only independent making its mark at the Oscars this year. Secrets and Lies received 5 nominations, expecting to increase their domestic profits somewhere between $12 and $15 million.
That's lovely.
Aside from the popularity of independent films over the last 10 years, it's the profit potential that's causing major movie studios to branch out.
What I think you will see, which has already started to happen, is that each of the studios will form an art house division.
In 1993, Disney bought 14-year-old Miramax for a reported $80 million. The acquisition has paid off quite handsomely. Films like The English Patient have snagged 12 of Miramax's 20 Oscar nominations and have helped put independent films in a whole new light. But independent films are doing more than making money for major studios. They've also been the ticket to success for unknowns. Ed Burns shot his first film at his parents' Long Island home and called it The Brothers McMullen. The $500,000 film went on to become a $10 million hit and grabbed the attention of Fox Searchlight. The studio then granted Burns a $3 million budget for his next project. And while the number of independent films continues to increase, so does the number of filmmakers trying to make it to the big screen. 30-year-old actress turned filmmaker Val Franco has just wrapped Remembering Mario, a romantic comedy in which Mayor Giuliani makes a cameo appearance. The project has cost Franco about $70,000 so far, and although she has no regrets, Franco admits there are easier things to accomplish than making a movie.
I would have rather cut off my arm because it would have healed faster and it would have hurt a lot less and cost a lot less. But as hard as it was, I can't wait to do it again.
Play those two up, John. Independent films will have an extremely strong presence at this year's Oscars. Our next guest is a columnist and critic for The Hollywood Reporter. He is also the official biographer of the Academy Awards and can be seen as the host of Turner Classic Movies. We are very pleased to welcome Robert Osborne to the Morning Show. Good morning. Nice to have you here.
Good to be here.
This seems to be the year of the independents. They are dominating the nominations at the Oscars this year. Is this a new trend that you think will sustain itself over the next decade?
I do think it'll sustain itself because I don't think that Hollywood really needs Oscars to sell tickets anymore. That all started really with Star Wars. Up until then, every movie that made a lot of money had an Oscar endorsement. Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia, From Here to Eternity. They don't need that to make money anymore. Star Wars proved that. Terminator proved that. Independence Day proves that. So Hollywood doesn't really need Oscars anymore to sell movies, and that's what it's all about. The independents do. And so if a film like Secrets and Lies or Breaking the Waves or Sling Blade or something like that gets Academy Award nominations, that can get bookings in theaters in Elephant Breath, Wyoming, and in the Taiwan Bijou that never would have booked films like that before. So what the Oscars place in the Hollywood structure is now, I think, is to sell these little movies, and always will be.
Will this lead to a growth in the budgets of independent features?
I don't think so, and I think they shouldn't. The thing that makes the independents good is they can be daring. They don't spend that much money, therefore they can be a little more daring, and they maybe still turn a profit. The problem with Hollywood pictures is they cost so much money to make now. There's such an investment that they have to make a lot of money. So they have to appeal to 14-year-old boys that'll take their girlfriends and go watch a lot of Boom Boom, you know?
Well, conversely, will this lead to a lowering of the salaries? You mentioned films like Independence Day and Terminator. There have been a lot of films recently like Daylight and Eraser that haven't necessarily done that well at the box office, but the stars are still taking home $15, $20 million paychecks. Is this going to bring about a fall in that?
I don't think so. I think they'll always get the paychecks because we have to realize that perhaps having Arnold Schwarzenegger's name on a film doesn't maybe pull in that many more people in the United